draft week. Well, not in the NBA just yet, but it is a good time since the NFL draft is this week to go look at an NBA mock draft as the regular season did come to a close just a couple weeks ago. I am Nic Rohloff of NBA Now. I'm very excited to get into my second mock draft, Rolly's Mock Draft 2.0, if you will. But before we jump into it, I want to make sure you are following me on Twitter. This is my profile icon. You see it all the way on the right here. Handle at Nic_Rohloff. If we get to 900 followers, I'm going to do a beer bong on our next NBA video. Yeah, you heard that. I'm chugging a beer on a show. We are about 50 followers away, so I think there's 50 people who are going to watch this that don't follow me on Twitter, so go please do so, because I'm also going to provide more content on my Twitter. I lead our NBA draft coverage here at Chat Sports, so if you want to be up to date on everything surrounding the draft, I'll be the best follow on the Bird app. And then if I get to 1,000 followers, the boss said I get a raise. I doubt it'll happen on this video, but hey, help a guy out. All right, I think it is important to note that the NBA draft lottery is happening on May 12th. So what does that mean? It means the top 14 picks could be shuffled in not actually the order that you're going to see on today's video. There's different odd and percentages of each pick, that each slot. So the order is not going to stay put. Now, what will stay put is picks 15 and beyond, because those are set once the regular season comes to a close. The teams that made the postseason are set with their selections. The top 14 will be shuffled around on May 12th. So the order that you'll see these mock drafts come in likely will not be the order that you see on draft day in late June. But let's jump into it, and I got a little bit of a stunner at number 1. Stephon Castle, the guard from Uconn. Listen, the Huskies are coming off their second straight championship. Castle was a main contributor in the second one. And yes, is this probably not going to happen? Yeah, but I think he is deserving of getting the number 1 pick. Does he have the highest ceiling? No. But what Castle brings to the table is winning basketball. I do think he'll go in the top 5 of this draft class. And with the Pistons picking at number 1, they're going to have to make a decision. Like, the best player in this class, which we'll get to in just a second, is Alex Sarr to me, who I, by the way, do have going number 2 to the Wizards, so we can just flash that. But to round out the conversation with the Pistons at number 1, Sarr is someone right now who projects as a inside big, and would the Pistons, if they ended up with the first pick, really use it on a center that would just be Jalen Duren? Like, I don't really make any sense of bringing Sarr in with Duren. I don't think they could play together, and why would you be picking a backup center with the first overall pick? So maybe you take a little bit less of a talented player in Castle and a little bit of a lower ceiling, but for someone who fits with you long term, but is also a very winning basketball player. Now, on Sarr, he is a fantastic ball player, and after the Wizards got rid of Daniel Gafford, they do need to fill that center position that is widely vacated, and I think Sarr is the number 1 player in this draft class. If I had my big board, I'd have Alex Sarr 1. I just think it makes more sense for him to slide in at number 2 with the Wizards. I could see this being a match made in heaven. He is very athletic, man, and he can really rock the rim and protect the rim. Nice little two-way center at the top of this class. Someone that I'm higher on than most, Matas Buzelis, the forward from the G League Ignite. He is a fantastic defender, and I think if he just continues to grow his offensive game, he can be special. For the G League Ignite, he averaged 14 points a game and shot 45% from the field. The question marks is that shooting stroke. He's 6'10", he shot 26% from 3 and 69% from the free throw line. You'd like those numbers to go up in the modern-day NBA, but if Buzelis is able to get to a team in Portland that doesn't have a timetable to win anytime soon, they can develop him, get his shooting stroke right and the form good, and then in 2 to 3 years, if he's able to elevate to a 35% three-point shooter, this kid has all NBA potential because of how good he is on the defensive side of the floor. It is prediction time, and I know this is an NBA mock draft, but the playoffs are going on right now. Who wins the NBA Finals this year? I think it might be the year of the back-to-back, folks. Saw with the Chiefs, saw with the Connecticut Huskies. I think the Denver Nuggets are going to go back-to-back. Another collegiate player here, Cody Williams, the forward from Colorado. This is a traits pick, and with the Hornets here, you could see a real nice big 3 forming if this pick pans out. Brandon Miller's a finalist for Rookie of the Year. He was fantastic for Charlotte this season after being the number 2 pick just a year ago. You bring in Williams, who is more of a defensive wing, to pair up with the Brandon Miller offensive wing capabilities. And then you have LaMelo Ball manning the point guard for Charlotte. They get fully healthy, and Cody Williams pans out and is able to continue to be effective offensively. Shot 41.5% from three this past year as a Buffalo. I think this is a good way for him to fall for the Hornets. Nikola Topic. Listen, there is no secret that the San Antonio Spurs are going to be looking for a guard, and Topic, to me, is the most pure point guard in this draft. You could argue Reed Sheppard, but I like Topic's game. He is 6'7", he's tall, he's lengthy, he's 18. He's been playing at the highest level overseas, and if he's able to get his jump shot rolling, he is going to be fantastic. But one thing you can't deny is his floor vision and playmaking ability. The pick and roll with him and Wemby would be generational down in San Antonio. Zachary Rissacher, the forward going to Toronto. And this is why I'm talking about the lottery, by the way, because the Raptors pick is top 6 protected. They will not keep this pick if they're fall out of the top 6 in the lottery. So right now they do have a pick because it is number 6. Rissacher, who just a couple weeks ago and a month ago is in real consideration for the top pick in this draft. I'm a little bit lower on him than others, but I do think going to a Raptors team, which is very far away from competing, him and Scotty Barnes could be a fun pairing in the 6. The aforementioned Reed Sheppard, and this is just such a luxury pick for Memphis. Do they move off this pick because it's in the top 10 to upgrade the roster with a veteran? Maybe. But if they do keep the pick, it makes a lot of sense to get someone that can impact winning at a high level right away. And Reed Sheppard plays a winning brand of basketball. One of the best perimeter defenders at the college level last season, averaging 2.5 steals a contest. But he can also shoot the rock 52% from 3. Bringing him off the bench to be Ja Morant's backup point guard just makes a lot of sense to me. You can learn under Marcus Smart as well. This is a match made in heaven if you're asking Mr. Roley. Rob Dillingham, number 8. He is a scoring guard, and the Jazz just need an overhaul of talent. Maybe Colin Sexton gets dealt in this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised. You have Dillingham as the replacement. Maybe him and Keontae George are the backcourt or the future in Utah. They have an abundance of picks with the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert trades, so it's time to start cashing in and just bringing in all the talent you could possibly find. My favorite player in this draft, Dalton Knecht, and I feel like this is the second time I've mocked him to the Houston Rockets. I think this is a perfect match in the late lottery or in the late top 10. Like, Houston needs more scoring at the perimeter. You have Jabari Smith. You have Elfrid Sengun, Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green if he sticks around. Now get that wing scorer, Dalton Knecht, averaging more than 20 points per game for the Volunteers this season. Also, I think is the best volume shooter in this draft class. He got up about 8-9 threes a game for Tennessee and shot 39.7%. He is an absolute marksman, but he can not just only shoot. He can get to the rim, and he can finish through contact. He had a lot of poster dunks this season for Tennessee and Rick Barnes, my favorite player in this draft class. Make sure you do subscribe to Chat Sports here because we are going to be the home for the best NBA draft coverage. It is 2 days this year now. We get a first round day and a second round day. That is a lot of fun if you're asking me. Some others might disagree, but we are also giving you the best coverage for the NFL draft later this week, so hit that sub button if you just like drafts in general. All right, the last player in the top 10, Donovan Clingan, the center for Uconn. Listen, he could go top 5, but I have him sliding here to the Hawks at 10, who probably are going to have a massive rebuild. Trae Young could be on the move. Who knows if DeJounte Murray is going to stay put. Clint Capella could be on the move as well. Bringing in Clingan, who can project as a Rudy Gobert-esque rim protector, would be quite the fit for the Atlanta Hawks. I would be a big fan of Clingan in the ATL. Ron Holland here at number 11. Someone that I thought could have been the number 1 overall pick coming into this year's draft process. Evidently not the case, but I think Holland's got a lot of talent. He's athletic. He did a lot of nice things as well for the G League Ignite team this year. Big fan of Ron Holland's game. Think this would be a good fit in the Windy City. Kyle Filipowski, someone that I am very high on because he can space the floor. He can protect the rim. I'm a Filipowski guy. Depends on who you talk to. You get different opinions on where he's going to project in the NBA. But he's 7 feet tall. He shot 50% from the field, 35% from three, averaged 16 for the Blue Devils. You get him as Chet Holmgren's backup, or if they want to go a little bit bigger and start Filipowski at the 4 and move on from Josh Giddey, I think that is a very good fit for OKC. I like Filipowski going to the Thunder. Jacoby Walter, the guard from Baylor, going to the Sacramento Kings. Disappointing season for De'Aaron Fox and company. They're going to be losing Malik Monk in free agency in all likelihood because they're just going to be outpriced. Bring in Walter to be that backup guard or maybe even start potentially makes a lot of sense. Three-point shooter. As a true freshman at Baylor, he averaged 14.5 points. I think Walter's game translates to the NBA quite a bit. I love this fit for the Kings. Rounding out the lottery, Johnny Furphy. We're taking a little bit of a shot here for the Portland Trail Blazers. They have a lot of picks as well, and you might as well just stack up on young talent. Furphy arguably has the best looking shot form in this draft class. Freshman for the Jayhawks. Didn't get a lot of run early in the year, but came on as of late. On those catch-and-shoot situations, he can really hit them. I just picture maybe if this pick hits, you get Scoot Henderson going downhill, drawing 2, kicking out the Furphy for 3. Makes a lot of sense if you're asking me. The Miami Heat here picking at 15. They need a point guard and just a guard in general. We know Rozier. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Tyler Hero could be on the move this offseason. They were gutted for Damian Lillard last offseason. They get a freshman from Duke, McCain, who shot 41.4% from 3. Smart basketball player, high IQ, also a very solid defender. To me, Eric Spoelstra would just have him fitting in this roster like an absolute glove. 15 more picks to break down, but we do have to talk about the best daily fantasy sports app there is, and that is Prize Picks. Get started today by downloading the app and using code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. The playoffs are here in both the NBA and NHL. We also got the MLB heating up. You can put entries in on soccer, League of Legends. This is what makes the #1 daily fantasy sports app reside with Prize Picks. You can win up to 100 times your money during the postseason as well with as little as 4 correct picks. You can make picks between LeBron, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham. Get in on the action today and have the most fun. I know this is an NBA show, but we never show any love to the NHL, and I'm going to the Dallas Stars who puck it off, tip it off. I don't know what they say. Puck drop. Yeah, puck drop. I like that. As you can tell, I'm not the biggest NHL guy, so this might not hit, but I'm going to go with this. Jason Robertson, more than half a point. Jake Dettinger, more than 25.5 goal saves. And then William Karlsson, less than half a point for the Kings, or what is it? No, the Knights. Golden Knights, excuse me. Let's go Dallas Stars. This is where we're located. Get started today, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Isaiah Collier here going to the Orlando Magic at 16. Uber talented point guard who didn't really have a good freshman season for the Trojans and Andy Enfield, which is probably why he's no longer coaching there and is in SMU. But Collier is someone who's very talented. The Magic need more guards. They have the wings in Banchero and Wagner. Let's see if they could pick up a real true point guard of the future in Collier. Tyler Smith, the forward from the G League Ignite, another Raptors selection here in the first round. This guy's got really long arms, and I kind of fiend for guys with a long wingspan. 6'11", he can really defend. Another G League Ignite guy, someone who the Raptors can build and develop while they're continuing to rebuild. The Pelicans have multiple first-round picks in this draft, the first one coming here at 18, and I love the fit of Tristan da Silva, a do-it-all guy coming from Colorado, who another player for the Buffaloes that's a first-round pick, in my opinion. He can defend, he can shoot the rock, he can do it all. He just plays winning basketball. You bring him off the bench, you add him into that collection of role-playing wings that they already have in Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. Well, now you just have a bunch of players that do winning basketball-type things down in New Orleans to complement Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum, and Zion Williamson. I'm a big fan of De Silva. I already told you my favorite draft prospect is Dalton Knecht from Tennessee, though. Who is your favorite draft prospect? Claim that person right now, about 2 months before the draft actually gets underway, and comment their name in the comment section. Devin Carter, the guard from Providence, who's just shot up draft boards over the last 2 months. He is a junior. He's 22 years old. He just plays basketball the right way, man. 19.7 points, 8.7 rebounds for the Friars and Kim English in 2023. Shot well from beyond the arc, 37.7%. He can do it off the catch. He can do it off the dribble. He originally was going to be the second guy on the Friars behind Bryce Hopkins, but then once he tore his ACL for Providence, Carter really had to step up and be the number one option, and he did not disappoint. He was very solid for the Friars in 2023. I think this is a good fit for Philadelphia as they look to replace those guards on the bench. Kevin McCullough going to the Cavaliers with number 20. He is someone who was very talented, and we could be talking about this Kansas team in 23 very differently if McCullough was never plagued with injuries. He could shoot the pill. He can defend. He was averaging 18 points a game before he left and didn't really play in the final 2 months of the season. McCullough is an older prospect, but someone who is going to be able to get a lot of winning basketball played, and the Cavs, a team looking to compete, would likely enjoy his fit. Tajani Saloon, the forward from Cholet, going to the Pelicans. Like I said, they have 2 first-round picks here. They take one who can benefit you now and try to win, and Tristan Da Silva earlier with pick 18. But with pick number 21, let's swing for the fences. I'm not a Tajani Saloon guy, but as an 18-year-old, he's 6'9". There's a lot of talent there. There's a high ceiling. You take him, you stash him, have him play in the G League a year or two, and maybe that pays dividends in a couple seasons. Mark Sears going to the Milwaukee Bucks at pick 22, and this pick is just a perfect one if you ask me. Sears, who is getting a lot of comps to Jalen Brunson, rose his stock from mid to late second-round pick into a firm first-round selection. If you're asking me, he can shoot it lights out, shooting damn near 40% from 3 for Crimson Tide. Damian Lillard's up there in age, folks, and they're going to need some bench scoring as well as they look to progress. Sears can learn behind Dame, and when Dame retires in 2 to 3 seasons, Sears can be the point guard of the future, but he will also provide some scoring off the bench right away for Doc Rivers and company. I know you guys were wondering when he was going to show up. He shows up at 23. Zach Edey, the center from Purdue. I have him landing with the Suns, and they have Yusuf Nurkic, but their backup center game is not the greatest. Drew Eubanks has done some nice things this year for Frank Vogel, but you take the 7'4" center from Purdue, you slot him in there next to KD, Book, and Bradley Beal for 10 to 15 minutes a game, and well, guess what? Zach Edey might be able to do some nice things on the defensive end as well as cleaning up some misses on the offensive glass. Knicks have back-to-back picks here. You could just flash both of them. Ryan Dunn and Deron Holmes. I think this would be a home run haul for Leon Rose in New York. Ryan Dunn is a fantastic defender. I told you about wingspan. I'm a fan of it. The Dunn's unbelievable. 6'8", best defensive wing in this draft class, if you're asking me. He was on that Virginia team who obviously prioritizes defense. Dunn could be a perfect learning protege behind OG Anunoby for the Knicks, and Deron Holmes could be replacing Isaiah Hartenstein because I think he will be getting a starting center gig next season in free agency. So you replace him, you get Deron Holmes in there with Mitchell Robinson, and you got a nice little 2 tandem at center once again. Keyshawn George, the freshman for Miami here, number 26 to the Wizards. I'm kind of skeptical of Keyshawn, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to end up being a first-round pick. He's more of a traits guy. I only averaged 8 points a game for the Hurricanes. I think he is someone who could go late in the first round as a kind of high-ceiling stash pick. Keyshawn George is an interesting prospect. Another guy I like that I might be early on here, Harrison Ingram, forward from North Carolina. He just declared for the draft a couple days ago. This guy just impacts winning at a high level. Impact transfer going from Stanford to North Carolina in 2023, was one of the best players for Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels. You get him into a winning basketball organization and a team that just needs players to impact them now. Harrison Ingram is a great fit. Can shoot the ball, can finish inside. He's physical. He is a solid pick, man. Might not see it now, but I'm telling you, by the time we roll around late June, he's a first-round pick. Tyler Kolek going to Denver at 28. This feels like a cheat code for the Nuggets to pick up Kolek to be the backup point guard for Jamal Murray. Listen, Reggie Jackson's been solid this year, but they can bolster up that bench with a true point guard that's younger. Kolek can really shoot the rock, man. He shot 30-plus or 38% from three this year. I'm a big fan of his fit with Denver. He's a high IQ player. He can pass. Him and Jokic could run a very nice pick and roll. Big fan of the potential fit with Kolek and the Denver Nuggets. AJ Mitchell, a Gaucho, UC Santa Barbara. If you can name the other UC Santa Barbara alum in the comment section, I'll give you a shout-out next video without looking it up. I'll know, by the way, because I think I'm the only person that can name this guy off head. But either way, AJ Mitchell is a very talented guard who can really score the basketball. Fringe first-round pick. I think it could go either way. He averaged 20 points a game for the Gauchos while shooting 39% from the field. He can shoot it. He's 6'5". He's got some good size to him. I think Utah just continuing to bring in high IQ and high talented basketball players could only benefit them. I don't care who he's playing for a low-mid major. Last pick in the draft, Kel'el Ware, center for the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm a big fan of his game. I compare him to Noah Clowney just from a draft class a year ago. Can shoot it from three a little bit, can protect the rim, but has a little bit of a slight frame. Big fan of Ware and his potential in the NBA. I don't know where he slides in. And the biggest need for the Celtics is the backup center role behind Porzingis. Al Horford is getting up there in age. Don't know how much longer he has. Bring in Ware, who can do a lot of nice things. Maybe you start him off in the G League as well and then work on his game, and then he could fill in with that big five they currently have. All right, that's it. 30 picks. NBA mock draft. It's over. Grade it for me. Don't shy away. A, B, C, D, or F. Listen, I think it could go either way. If you like your team's pick, you're going to grade it an A. If you don't, it's going to be more closer to that D or F. I think it's a very solid mock draft. A lot of good fits for a lot of good teams. People might tell you this draft stinks. That might be true in terms of superstar potential, but I do think there's a lot of good players in it that are going to impact winning and find good roles as 10-year-plus veterans in this league, which to me means it's a good draft. Like I said earlier, follow me on Twitter if you want to be up to date on the latest around the NBA draft. I'm your guy at Nic_Rohloff, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.